What's going on? It's Coach Williams, and I'm back for another breakdown. So today we are going to talk Dorian Strong out of Virginia Tech. So he's a corner that I definitely wanted to get to. I found him through watching the Senior Bowl practices. He really stood out to me. So I went in, looked at the stats, 39 career plays on the ball, so he's well over the threshold. Really liked what I saw on film, so I wanted to break him down for you guys and let you know at some point where he ranks in this year's cornerback class. So, got him down here at the bottom of the screen. And so, he's a bigger corner, so 6'2", little heavy-footed, kind of reminds me a little bit of Kelee Ringo in that sense. Kelee Ringo's more straight. He's got more straight line speed, but like the quickness and agility, a little heavy-footed. But this is a really good job here getting attached to the route. So you'll see this a lot over the course of this video. He typically ends up in this half turn here. So again, really good technique. The near shoulder is down. Upfield shoulder is up. Stays attached. That allows him to break on the receiver. Sorry, press. Bail. Again, shoulder down. Over the top of the route. But here, balance becomes a little bit of an issue, and we'll see that on film. Like I said, he's a little heavy-footed, doesn't change direction all that great, but he sticks with the play and stays on it. All right, we got him down here, bottom of the screen. Really good weave step, so I love this. Weave step, so we keep our hips, shoulders square, small skate steps to the inside to keep our leverage. And then when he starts to get vertical, we turn, but he flips his hips back around. This is pretty good for a big corner to be able to move like that. Impressive movement skills there. All right, press. So speed release to the inside, one hand jam, stabs him. Fights through the traffic, stays on top of it, but ends up being a completion. This is good coverage, though. It's good coverage. Sometimes they're going to win. And again, half turn. So here he's a little bit on his, again, like I said, he's a little heavy-footed. He's a little on his heels here. Right? He looks kind of all over the place. Could do a better job with that. But this is a good job in zone coverage of seeing what's around you, having good vision like we talked about with Trey Amos, puts you in the right spot. He sees it, drives, and gets in on the play. All right, on this one, good small, choppy 6-inch steps, doesn't get out of his Madden circle, doesn't get out of his frame. Patience, right? Really good patience here. And then drives to the inside. It's a good job. So now he tries to go with the fake quick jam there, so that's not a false step, right? So that one's okay. So he goes with the fake quick jam, then gets hands on. It's a really good rep. That's a heady rep. That's smart. That's having intelligence at the line of scrimmage and being like, okay, he probably has seen on film that I've done some quick jams, so I'm going to fake him out with this one. That's really good chess match at the line of scrimmage. Small, choppy 6-inch steps, no false steps, no getting outside of his frame. Really good job here. And then good job in zone coverage, right? Here, I mean, they're in man, but this is more of a banjo type situation, so it turns into zone. So they pass off the routes. Really good job, really good eyes by him. Other guy doesn't follow the guy to the back of the end zone end line, but they can't give the quarterback that much time in that area of the field. See, small, choppy, 6-inch steps, very patient. This is really good stuff here. Gets hands on, but the balance comes up again. He ends up on the ground. Not as much as some other guys that I've evaluated this year, but still just, you know me. Balance is DB trait. I want to see you on your feet. All right, here. All right, I love this rep right here. So he's in zone coverage here. All right, so in this half turn, It's in zone coverage. Receivers behind him, speed turn, really fast speed turn, especially for a big guy, and then go up and high point the football, act like a receiver, go for that thing. Really impressive rep. I just got to play it back one more time because it's really good here. So from the top of the play, zone coverage, apex the route, speed turn, tack the football. Really good job. And then that's the balance I want to see. Receiver on the ground, you on your feet. Really good angle of it from the tight here. Tack the football. This is beautiful. Opposite hand through. Backhand on that tackle insurance. Good job. All right, patient with the feet. Small, choppy 6-inch steps. Jams with the wrong hand, though. But either way, stays on top of the route. Good. Good rep. All right, now we get a little bit of a false step here, right? So we've been seeing him do a really good job with not false stepping, keeping his feet inside of the frame. So here, and then you can see when you do that, right? You got to take these, when you take that big step to the outside and put your foot forward, now you got to push so hard off this foot that it gets you kind of off balance here. Don't get hands on. But either way, good change of direction and staying on top of the route. All right, again, right? This time, not as big of a false step, but still a false step. And you can see, look at that body position. That's back on your heels. That's not where you want to be, right? So we've seen the consistency from the other plays, but now we're seeing this. But when I watched the Senior Bowl film, part of the reason why I went in was like, let me check this guy out. His technique looked pretty good. So it just needs to be a little bit more consistent with it. But either way, on top of the route, makes a play on the football. Really impressive stuff. They threw the flag on this one. I don't know. You tell me. We'll rewind it. This doesn't look like a penalty to me. This looks pretty clean. All right. So stays on top of the route. Drives back through the ball. I don't know. So we'll see it from the tight angle here. All right. It's got a little bit of hands on. Maybe he tugged him, but either way, good change of direction. Able to get back down on it. Decent rep. All right, false step there. All right, so we're going to see a little bit more false steps on these, but this isn't like a fast speed release, right? Because it's a run play, but either way, we want to see our technique be airtight on every play. All right, one thing that I noticed with him too is you see him in the slot from time to time, and I could definitely see him. He's newsflash, he's an outside corner. All right, so when I do my rankings, if he's on the list, he's going to be an outside corner. But he is a guy that could move into the slot and be a big slot up against an offensive big slot. So big tight end, or sometimes they're putting these, receivers that are a little bit more bigger and more physical, but maybe don't have explosive speed to be on the outside. Sometimes they're starting to put those guys in the slot. He's definitely a guy that can match up with bigger slots and tight ends. So here, really good catch technique here. So again, we talk about the cliff, right? Even though it's not a first down marker, this is good catch technique to not give up so much ground. And then when you get the declared release, the speed release to the outside, now you can jam with two hands, right? So good job in zone coverage. And then getting in the zone here, really good job. Zone eyes, looking around, seeking, searching, and staying connected to this receiver right here. It's a really good job. I could definitely see him being a bigger slot. All right, bail technique here. All right, good job seeing the routes, vision, right? So when you get in this bail technique and you're on top of the route, puts you in a dominant position because now you can see this receiver, but you can see everybody else on the field. They call it the 21-man rule. 22 football players on the field. You're the 22nd one. 21 players in your vision. So now you can come off of routes like this and try to make a play on the ball, almost picks it off, but his teammate goes and gets it. All right, really good job. Then getting out here, trying to hunt up a block. But again, the balance comes into play, falls down. Right, ends up on the ground a little bit too much for Coach Williams' liking. But, I definitely, if you couldn't tell, I like this guy. I like Dorian Strong. So really good job here. Making a play on this football, trying to pick it off. I'd love to see him get both hands on it. Receiver bats it though, then he bats it, teammate gets it, and then he's like, "We out." We out. Who can I block? Who can I block? Who can I block? And then I get blocked by my teammate. So really good job by Dorian Strong there. All right, next play, we got him at the bottom of the screen. False step. All right, false step. And what does that do? Look at the body position. This is not a good body position, right? We want to be, knees over toes. We don't want to be like this. So he's off balance. But either way, gets hands on the receiver. Don't tug, though. And again, the balance comes into play. Ends up on the ground. So it gets you out of rhythm on the rep when you do that, when you do the false stepping, right? So I keep saying it every video. You're going to hear it every video when I see it. There we go. Bail. Apex. 2 routes. Can see everything. 21-man rule. But, like I said, 21-man rule. Okay? Ball's been completed down here. You do not want to go inside this receiver like this and get pinned inside, right? You don't want to do that because if this tackle gets broken, now look at all that green grass. Luckily, there's a guy over the top, but it's going to be extra yards gained. You do not want to do that. Okay, really important. Angles to the football as a DB are really important. You can't do stuff like this. You can't go inside. You got to go outside of this guy because all it's going to do, it's psychology. If you go to the outside like this, he is either going to run out of bounds because he knows that you're going to be in the area, or he's going to cut it back inside to the pursuit, right? We don't want to give an alley, right? We call this an alley. You do not want to give ball carriers alleys like that. Really important. All right, really good patience here. You guys know me. I love this stuff, man. Look at this. Small, choppy, 6-inch steps. Quiet but active feet. Patient with his hands. Finally gets the strike on, right? Good job here. I love that. That's really good technique. All right, now we got him at the bottom of the screen. All right, so they're playing this man concept versus a stack receiver. So typically, I mentioned this in some videos, some teams, they'll put this guy up here on the line of scrimmage, a corner, but they're faking it. He's not really covering him. He's covering the guy in the back. That's what they're doing here. He gets hands on. I love this, the arm bar. Really good job. Good coverage. All right. So we talked about this a little bit with the Zaire Thomas. You don't want to get a wide frame like this, right? So this isn't technically a false step, but when you get your frame all wide like this, especially if you're favoring, so this leg is wider than that one. So now when he goes back inside, you're having a little bit of trouble getting inside, right? So beat to the spot. But either way, he recovers. But in the NFL, that's not going to work, right? So, but either way, I love this. Love the physicality. I love the stab here. Look at the stab. Look at how powerful that stab is. It looks like an ollie jab. Knocks him backwards. It's a really good job. Really good job there. All right, so we'll see it from the tight angle here. Really good job. All right, so now we got him down here, bottom of the screen. Okay, so one thing that he can do, and we've noticed this a little bit, right? He puts the hands up a little too early. He's got to be patient with his hands and just wait. Wait to strike. Let the route come to you, because now he's jammed with the opposite hand. What does that do? I mean, with the near hand, what does that do? Locks out your hips. Makes it hard for you to turn and get upfield. All right, but really good recovery speed. Even though he didn't run that great at the combine, he ran like a 4.5. He's shown a little bit of recovery speed, so something to just be aware of here. All right, so now we got him in off coverage here against this bunch. So, all right, I would like him to not give ground. We talked about this earlier. He did a really good job with it, and talked about it with Curry Johnson. You don't want to give ground here, right, because it creates space. But either way, it makes a tackle, and it's not a first down. But we just don't want to give up those easy completions like that, right? Don't want to give too much ground. See how the other guys aren't giving ground? Like this DB here, he's not giving any ground, right? He's working laterally. So he's working lateral, not giving any ground. And what does that do? That gives you an ability to get hands on the guy, right? So if he's going vertical, he's going to have to go through you, right? That's how you want to think about it conceptually. All right, got him up here top of the screen. All right, look at this small, choppy 6-inch steps. But he opens the gate a little bit too early. Ends up being a completion on the slant. All right, so good rep to start. Just got to stay square for a little bit longer, just a tick longer. You're a big physical corner. You got really long arms. You can stay square for longer, you know? You can stay square there. All right, now we got him bottom of the screen here. Bail technique. And we talked about this earlier, going inside of blocks. This is why you don't do it. You get pinned inside, and what happens? Big play, right? Do not want to go inside of these blocks. You are going to get pinned. So really important that he has some consistency with this, right? Can't go inside, right? And then complaining about a hold, never do that. You don't want to see DBs do that on the field. Just run, and then you shouldn't be talking to the refs anyways, but if you want to talk to the ref, talk to the ref after the play. But that's it for Dorian Strong. Really like this guy. Really good film. Haven't heard anybody talking about him, but I think he's a pretty impressive player. We'll see where he ends up in my cornerback rankings. Will he make it? Will he be an honorable mention? You'll have to come back for more breakdowns to know. So as always, you know what it is. Coach Williams, Ball Hawks, we fly. I'm out. Peace.